Are you wasting your time with unqualified prospects? Are you spending way too much energy and resources on people that will never buy? They're either not in the right space or maybe their business isn't the right fit, and you're booking appointments and you're meeting with them, and they're great people, but they're not right for your services. So you're leaving money on the table because that appointment could have been used for someone who would buy from you, who was ready to buy from you. Today, we're talking about closing that gap and making sure that the people who you get in front of are the people who are ready to buy. It's called qualifying. We're going to learn to qualify our prospects today. Hi, everybody. I'm Monique Carlisle. I am the business optimization automation coach with Midas Web, and we come on every day at 12 noon Central to share with you a business tip, trick, strategy, something to help you grow your business immediately. We then take that business strategy and we research it and we follow through with it with AI. So we use a variety of AI tools, ChatGPT. We've used Canva, Perplexity. We'll use 11 Labs in a future workshop. We have a lot of tools out there. So we want to use them to our benefit. After we develop our strategy with AI, we then implement it so it can be done automatically. So here at Midas Web, we use the high-level system for automation and productivity, and it is amazing. So you'll get a sneak peek into how to build surveys in the high-level system in just a few moments. Now, right after our live today at 12:30, you may have questions. You may want to know how to implement it in your own business or talk about something else. Well, we have open office hours at 12:30 right after the training today. So click on the link below and join that Zoom room to ask your questions about business. Let's strategize, soundboard. Let's figure out what you need to take those next steps to build your business. We can talk about AI, talk about your high-level system, or you can ask questions about whether the high-level system is right for you. So without further ado, let's jump in. Today, we're talking about qualifying. Now, you will need to know what kind of clients you want to work with. What is your ideal customer? And you really want 4 to 5 differentiators for that ideal customer. You can have demographics, you can have psychographics. We can jump into those as a whole nother training. But do they need to be a business owner? If so, you need to ask them the question, do you own a business? What is the name of your business? Where is your business located? You want to ask certain questions to make sure that you're speaking to a business owner. If you're a consumer, if you work with consumers, you again need to ask questions like age, location. If you are specifically targeting women, maybe you ask their gender. If you are targeting a certain income range, those kinds of things. Those questions need to be asked. Qualifying is typically done for business to business, but be creative and look at your business to consumer qualification questions as well. So how do you use that? Well, you're going to develop your 3 to 5 questions. You don't want this to be a long, drawn out quiz, just a few little tidbits that help you know the right person is in front of you. So once you have those 5 questions, you need to get them to your people. You're going to get them to your people in your general marketing strategies. So you put out a Facebook ad and you attach a form. In our case, it's going to be a survey because surveys do qualifying. And you're going to attach that survey. And when they click to sign up for your webinar or book an appointment, join your Facebook group, whatever it is you're doing, that call to action, they're going to be redirected to that survey. And it's going to say, so glad you're interested. Tell me, are you a business owner? Check yes or no. What is your monthly income? If that's one of your qualifying questions. What area do you live in? Do you have access to technology? Are you, if you're a hairstylist and you want to know if they regularly style their hair, or what's the texture of their hair? What's the length of style they're looking for? If they have a more time-intensive need, like they're going to do extensions or eyelashes, and I'm not a big salon person, so you'll have to know your industry. You might want to ask those questions. Have you had this salon service done before? Have you worked with people like this before? If you're a plumber or a home designer and you want to know, have you gotten the inspection? Do you have your permissions? Have you worked with a plumber before? Is it gas or electric? Because if it's a gas house, that needs a plumber. But if it's not a gas house, then you're really working on the water plumbing, right? That's something I learned. Tangent, squirrel. Gas is considered a plumbing need if you have gas lines, which I thought was really interesting and cool. I learned that years ago. Anyway, so all of these things you might need to ask. So you're going to ask those 4 or 5 questions. They're going to answer. And depending on their answers, you're going to qualify or disqualify them. If you qualify them, congratulations, book an appointment. But if you disqualify them, then you want to say, it looks like you're not quite ready for our services. Here's a link to resources to get ready. You've also been added to our nurture campaign. So when you are ready, we are here for you. Those are the kinds of things you can do with a survey. And so we're going to jump into ChatGPT right now, and we're going to do some research on, counseling. We're doing the counseling niche today. So if you provide family counseling, couples counseling, relationship counseling, trauma counseling, any type of counseling, that's kind of what we're going to focus on today. And so I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to jump into ChatGPT. Right. So I'm going to open a new chat, and I need to give it a role. So we are using the counseling niche. So we are going to speak to an expert counselor, because what we're looking for, our goal is to get those qualifying questions. So we're going to give it the role, act as a family counselor specializing in, let's be unique. Let's say foster care, fostering children in specializing in helping families who choose to foster children. Now you would put in your own, of course. Your services include adult counseling for the parents and child counseling for the children. You can work with families before, during, or after the foster care process to help them navigate their foster care situation. Okay, so I've given it a lot of background. I've given it a lot of focused intent so that it knows exactly who we're talking about, exactly who we're targeting. Now we need to give it the task. So we have the role, we have the background. Now we need the task. What do we actually want from the GPT? Help me develop 5. Let's go ahead and say 10, and then we'll pick the ones that we want. 10 questions. Always ask for more than you need, so you can toss out the ones that don't resonate with your business. 10 questions that will help me qualify my clients and ensure they are a good fit for my services. Okay. And I think that's it. I don't think we need anything more. You could be more specific about the type of people, like maybe you only work with adopting children before age 5. Maybe you only work with adopting children from trauma or a CPS case, those kinds of things. You could be more specific, but we're going to leave very general today and see what it comes up with. Okay. Awesome. So what motivated you? Describe your family considerations and dynamics, experiences. Okay, so these all sound like very open-ended questions, which is great if you're doing an intake. This is more of an intake survey, which would be really important after you've had that initial meeting and they want to do business with you. So let's fine-tune our conversation, because this isn't exactly what I want. These, I'm going to tell it very specifically, These are great for new clients coming in for services for the first time. I am trying to qualify my clients before they become clients. I'm going to change this word client. I'm trying to qualify my potential. And it's patients, right, in the medical industry. So we're going to change this. My potential patients before they become patients. I think that's right. I use clients because I work business to business. I don't want to confuse ChatGPT. So I'm going to use, we'll change it for if we're doing any sort of like email marketing or things like that, we'll change it to the proper word choice. But I don't want to confuse it, so I'm going to keep the word choice the same, even though it might be wrong. So I apologize to any counselors out there if I'm using the wrong word. I'm trying to qualify my potential clients before they become clients. I want to ask these questions before they book an initial consultation. I want the questions to be yes, no, or multiple choice. Do not give any open-ended questions. Provide suggested responses. Okay, so what am I doing here? So I'm acknowledging what it gave me, and I'm telling it why it's wrong, and then I'm clarifying what I need from it. So let's see what it comes up with. This is much, much better, right? So we're going to let it do its work, and we're going to jump into ChatGPT, to the high-level automation system, and we're going to build out a survey. So surveys are under sites, and we're going to click on surveys, and we're going to go to builder. Now there's a difference. Forms just collect information. Surveys help you qualify or disqualify. All right, looks like we have some already set up. So let's go ahead and open up survey 0. And we're going to put counseling 101. Oh, sorry, no. Sorry. Pre-qualifying. All right. Now, you're going to build this in a similar way that you would build a form. The difference is it does have slides, which are different cards that will move across your web page as they click next. To add new slides, you're going to push the plus button at the bottom, and you'll see that this changed from submit to next. So here we have submit down here again, and we can add as many as we need to create our survey. To build our survey, the first thing we need to do is pull in some information. So depending on how you have your form, your original initiation set up, you might have your first card actually be their name, phone, email, all of that collection of information. So we can put full name, email, maybe you want to know what city and state they're in. Remember, this is for counseling. So if you work in a specific city or state, or they have specific laws you need to be aware of, that is something to maybe ask for. All right. So full name, email, city, state, that's going to be the first one. If I wanted to put a welcome, I would scroll down to customized here, and it says text. So I'm going to drag that in. To change your text, you're going to come over here to the text box. Let's delete that and say schedule your free consultation. All right, now that's a little big. It's at 40 right now. So your pixel size is right here. Let's change that to 20. You can do a lot with this as well. You can put borders around it. So let's make a quick border and show you what that would look like. It helps if I change the border color. Where did the border go? Okay, well, that's the background color. I thought this was the, oh, hi, helps if you turn on the border. All right, so you can make a pretty border. So you got to make sure to turn on the border and then put your pixel size and your color. You can also add padding. You can change colors. There's a lot of settings here within your text box. Up here at the top is where you'll put in hyperlinks if you need to do that. Also, you can make it a header. You can bold it, italics, justify it, do all of that fun stuff, and even change your font style and color. So play with that until you are happy. And I'm going to change it back to none. All right, let's build the second one. So we're going to go back to ChatGPT and we're going to ask this first question. Have you or your family already begun the foster care process? I'm going to copy it. And then they've made it really easy to just grab the custom field that you need. So this is going to be either a radio button or a single drop down. It's your choice. They're both going to give you similar information. So I'm going to do a radio button. This label is what becomes your custom value link. So I recommend you put something very short and direct in it, and then you can update it later. So I'm going to put, the question is currently in foster process. Okay, so the question is, have you begun the foster care process? So this is going to be my custom value. If I go into custom values, I can search for currently in foster care process. I'm going to go ahead and click save so that I can change it. All right, so here's your query key right here. And I'm going to change this to a question. And then I'm going to options. So here are the option 1, option 2, option 3. So I'm going to come back to ChatGPT and I'm going to just copy and paste. Copy and paste. We're going to do a couple of these really quickly and then add an option. All right, and click save. All right, so, oops, see that little error? We'll go ahead and just fix that. All right, perfect. Now, I want to leave this one question to a page, and I'm going to show you why in just a moment. So I'm going to scroll down here, and let's go ahead and build out one more. Are you currently seeking support for both adults and family? So again, that's going to be a radio button. We're going to change this to support needs and click save. Perfect. Now we're going to put in our question and update our options. All right. And the last one. All right, so you're going to build this out, and what you're then going to do is decide which questions are qualifying and which questions are disqualifying. So let's say so this particular service provider provides before, during, and after care. So we do not need to disqualify with any of this, right? Because you can serve this client regardless of where they are in the process. This is just good information for that appointment. For this one, maybe we're going to maybe not disqualify them, but push them to a specific question, and we can do that. So I'm going to add 2 slides so that I can show you the difference. Let's say slide 5 is children only. Needing support, existing systems in place. Okay, so here's a good one. So this is the question about biological children or their children in the home. So if they only want support for the children, then on slide 5, let's build out a very quickly children in the home and click save. And now we're going to change the question. Oops, I did not copy the question. I only highlighted it. Copy. All right. So this is just a little bit more information about the biological children. And the last one. All right, so let's say in question 3, they chose yes, but only for the children. I'm going to go down and I'm going to go down to logic. So let me make this a little smaller so you can see where I'm scrolling. Okay, so I'm going to make it required, so they have to answer. And if they chose yes, but only for the children, I want to take them to slide 5. Now I can actually label slide 5 and say, so if I come up here, so I don't have to remember, especially if you're building a lot of slides, click on settings, and you can rename this children in the home. And that's this slide. And maybe this one is adults in the home. So then the question here would be about the adults in the home. So again, if they said only for adults, they would need to go to slide 4. If they said yes, but only for the children, they would go to slide 5. And I can just tell it to do that here. And see how it changed the name automatically? All right. Something to keep in mind, and it requires a little bit of a tricky maneuver, is it will pick up from where it left off, where it gets sent to. So for example, if I were to say only for the adults, goes to slide 4, it would advance to slide 4, and then I would need to set up another logic to skip slide 5. Okay, so I'm going to say that one more time. If you have a slide in the middle that needs to be skipped, you will need to set up logic in order to skip it. Okay, otherwise they'll go to this one and then it'll automatically proceed to the next slide. So you do have to do a little bit of fine tuning to make sure that that order comes out. Now, the last thing we're going to do is choose a disqualification. Now, I wouldn't necessarily disqualify, but I want to show you where that setting is. So say they said, no, we're not sure yet. Well, if they're not actively looking for support, maybe you do want to disqualify them, but that's up to you. So you have 2 options. You have disqualify immediately and disqualify after submit. When you disqualify immediately, it will end the survey. It'll take them straight to that disqualification page and you're done. Or maybe you still want to collect all the information from them and then disqualify them. That would be disqualify after submit. So those are 2 different ways to disqualify them. If I did disqualify immediately, then it would show that disqualification tile. And if I disqualify after submit, then it would wait until they're done with the last one. Okay. Now, where does the disqualification get set up? All right. So here's your on submit. So all I did was I clicked kind of outside the tiles and then under your style and options here on the right. So, and when they submit, this is the message that they get. If they are disqualified immediately, here's the message that they get. If they disqualify after submitting, here's the message that they get. And then there's other settings, of course, that you can play with. So you want to either redirect them to a URL or send them a message, and make sure you set this up so that if they're redirected to a booking page, a landing page, a nurture page, a resource page, you put that URL here. And I recommend it being some sort of a website, because you want to say at the top, looks like we aren't a good fit right now, but here are some resources, and it's your blog page, right? Or it's your ebooks or your articles or your Facebook or something, right? But you want to let them know that they've disqualified. And again, same thing for disqualifying URL or message, and even submit has that as well. So build this out, customize it to your heart's content. And if you have any questions about this, we'll be in our open office hours. Click the link below and join me there. Ask your questions about business. Ask your business about AI. Ask your questions about AI, or even how to use your own high-level system. I appreciate you joining us, and y'all have a great day. Bye now.